Hi, it's Jeff Quintin down the shore here at Prudential Fox & Roach Realtors, and today I've got the good fortune of Angela from the McMahon Agency here in Ocean City, New Jersey, and this is the premier insurance company that we use regarding fire, homeowners, liability insurance, and flood insurance when selling all the properties. They dominate the island in insurance, and today we're just going to talk about some of the frequently asked questions to help answer some of the questions, concerns regarding some of the myths that buyers and sellers have regarding insurances here at the shore. So here's Angela from McMahon, and before I get into the call, I'm going to ask her to give you guys all her contact information. So if you have any other additional questions, certainly give her a call or send an email directly to Angela. So let's welcome her here today. So if you could, Angela, share with them your contact information.
Yes, I work for McMahon Agency in Ocean City. We have an office in Marmora, Mays Landing. The main contact number is 609-399-0060. My email is angelaw@mcmahonagency.com. You can always send me an email and I can forward it on to whomever needs to get your information depending on what you're purchasing.
Perfect. Well, thank you. Okay, so guys, I wrote down a couple of questions here regarding insurances. There's a lot of myths along the barrier islands of the Jersey Shore about you can get insurance, you can't get insurance, et cetera, et cetera. So, Angela, tell us a little bit about, is there insurance available for homeowners today when buying property? I mean, can we get insurance here along the islands?
Absolutely.
Okay.
There's many companies that are writing coastal business. There's many companies that are not writing coastal business. We have an array of markets from a standard company to a surplus lines company, and I'm not going to get into all of that, but there's differences between the two. I can give you more detail on that when you do call. But you can purchase coastal insurance. It's not a problem.
Okay, good. So the good news is, guys, we do have insurance here for properties. When we talk about, normal flood insurance, it's always a topic because we're obviously along an island, barrier island. So there is flood insurance, and that is federally mandated. Is that correct?
Right. The flood insurance is underwritten through FEMA, which is Federal Emergency Management Agency. The rates, the rules, the regulations, everything is controlled by FEMA. You can purchase excess flood insurance through other companies as well after you have purchased the FEMA coverage, of course for an additional premium and depending on the amounts of coverage you need and the details that would all have to be ironed out.
Okay. So when pricing flood insurance, how is it determined? I mean, ultimately, I'm told it's about elevation, so what determines the value of the premium amount on the insurance for flood insurance?
Well, the maximum coverage you can get on a single-family home is $250,000. On condos, it's a little bit more than that. I believe it's $500,000. I could be wrong.
Okay.
But the rates are regulated by the elevation certificate and how high above sea level the house is actually constructed, if it has the proper venting, and so on and so forth. So once you provided your elevation certificate, we would be able to give you an accurate flood quote. Okay. And there are many things that you can do if you are not properly vented. You could put in vents, which will help with the premium. You can fill in the crawl space if that's an issue. We'd have to assess the situation. Okay, so the good news is flood insurance is available and it's all federally mandated based upon the flood elevation above sea level. Right. Okay, got it. And then tell us a little about, we sell many times, as you guys know, and a lot of the viewers know, a 2-unit condo. Okay, so where we sell one floor of an actual duplex here along the islands. How does that work as far as the insurances? I mean, there's already a policy in place. How does that work? Generally, there's a master policy in place if it's an existing condo, and the new buyer would assume the half of the condo insurance from the seller. They would share in the cost of the master flood policy, the master fire policy and liability policy, and then they would have what they call their own unit owner's policy, which is generally for the interior of the condo unit. A very important coverage to have that a lot of people miss out on. Okay, all right, good. So basically then they're just going to assume into the current policy that's already existent. Right. Okay, good. And when someone's buying, let's say, a single family home, okay, whether it be the primary home or second home, when they're getting coverage on the property, what is required as far as the amount? Do we look at, okay, if they're buying a home, say, for $500,000, do they insure the property for the amount that they're buying it for? Is it the loan amount, for example, that's required, or is it the replacement cost? It's the replacement cost that the home should be insured for. Mortgage companies, may try to say that you need to have the loan amount, but they will waiver from that if you have replacement cost coverage on the policy, which is an endorsement. Generally, we take the square footage of the building and determine what we feel the replacement cost would be based on that.
Okay, good. Okay, so the rates and what's required, if as long as you're getting a mortgage, I'm assuming it's the replacement cost. It's not always the actual mortgage amount.
Correct. Yes,
Okay.
because you're not going to collect on more than the replacement cost of the home.
Got it. Okay, so in either case, flood or
Correct.
and fire situation or something like that.
Right.
Okay, good. Okay, so tell me about also now something interesting that's happened, which I believe in the last couple of months or a year. Maybe you can tell me differently. There's a waiting period when buying a property to get insurance placed on a property. Tell me about the waiting period. How long of a time frame is that?
On a condo, there is a 30-day waiting period. Unless there is an existing master policy in place, then there is not a waiting period. On a single family or a 2-unit, there is not a waiting period as long as you're closing on a federally funded loan. If there is no mortgage, there's a 30-day waiting period.
Okay, good. So then these 30 days right now is required to get is that from time the application is made or?
It's from the time application is made.
Got it. Okay, so it's not from when it's
Sent in.
Got it. Okay,
Right.
Good. Okay. Any other additional questions or anything else that you should or we should, some things that people ask you that we need to include in this blog today?
Every case is a case-by-case basis. Some companies rate you based on your credit. The best thing to do is to call. I have a little sheet that I can email to you that you can fill out all your details, which is the easiest thing, and we'll get back to you with a quote and hopefully be able to write your business.
So that brings another question. Tell me regarding rates. I mean, are rates high because we're still near the ocean regarding flood insurance, or is it the same? Is it cheaper as a primary home, let's say 20 miles inland?
Well, if it's a newly constructed home, the flood rates generally are going to be on the lower end because they have to be built according to FEMA guidelines. So anything built after 1974 generally will have a cheaper rate than things that may have been built prior to that. As far as homeowners goes, it's a second home. If it's a second home, it's obviously probably going to be a little more than your primary would be. But it's a second home.
A lot of times, second home values are a lot higher than their primary home. So anyway, okay. Right. Well, guys, any questions you have at all, feel free to give Angela a call. Any questions that, for me, if you're thinking of buying a home, selling a home, investing, whatever it may be, regarding insurance, call me 609-398-5333 or send me an email at jeff@jeffquintin.com. Let us know your thoughts on this blog. We appreciate it, and without a doubt, we appreciate Angela today and all her time.
Thank you.
So thank you. And anything you need at all, give me a call. I look forward to our conversation being the best call of your day. Have a great one.